Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show. I'll be breaking down the big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you want to go above and beyond, and I'll share some trade ideas later on, and you want to support the channel, get daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely head over to Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. And this is the time to join because these prices might even go up later on, maybe next month. And now let's get right into it. All right, so welcome back once again. You guys got a hint before that sell-off was coming. You can see on Wednesday night, I did put out this video on stock market and what happened. Fast forward on Thursday's session, and even today, market did sell off pretty big. Now, if you look at my screen, fear and greed index. Now we're back on fear 36. We got some data today. The CPI came in line to slightly lower. But again, market did not really rally on that. So we'll see how that goes next week. We do have some data next week, ADP employment change. We also have building permits on Wednesday, but I don't think these things can actually move the market that much. FOMC minutes on Wednesday. We'll get that at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then we got some initial jobless claims on Thursday. And I think we got that PC data also and the GDP next week on Friday. So, what the heck market did today? If you look at my screen, Dow was absolutely flat, but this was a fake breakout at 50,000 plus, advancing 62% and declining 33. Even with advancing 62%, we did not go higher today. Nasdaq down 0.22%, S&P flat, Russell going up 1.32%. 11 sectors. We got utilities leading the way on top, basic materials, real estate, energy, industrials, healthcare, consumer defensive, and then we got technology, communication services, and financial still in the red. Week to date performance right here. You can see utilities led the way, basic materials, and energy. So definitely at risk of move here in the market. Now, what do we got here on stock market map? You can see Nvidia down again today, 2.21%. Broadcom down. Apple down 2.27%. We got Google going down 1%, Meta down 1.54%, Tesla flat, Amazon flat, and Microsoft also going flat for the day, but a lot of green right here. You can see even on healthcare. And because the way Apple and Microsoft going down, I think we need to talk about Apple. And I'll share the trade that we took on Apple and some of the other ones in this video, so you guys will see what we do as a Patreon group, and especially trading wise when it comes to trading, day trading, or even swing trading. So let's get right into Apple. All right, so Apple stock was down yesterday 5%, and in top of that, today down another 2.27%. So when you see a big name like Apple going down like this, that is definitely not a good signal for the market. And unfortunately, guys, I'm not doing too many videos, and yesterday, people think it's all too easy. I don't get paid for these videos. Nothing. I swear to God, I don't get nothing out of these videos. I just put them out so people that are actually supporting my channel for years and they're watching my videos. I just don't want to see them saying that EK just abandoning his supporters and viewers. That's why these videos are coming out. It's not coming out for money. Money wise, anybody joins and gets these solid trade ideas. You can see Apple here, 275 puts. You can see it was right here, and this was the second time I got in on Apple, right here at $280 per share on these puts, 275. And you can see what happened here. This one I took yesterday, here on WDC, puts 280 at 293, and this thing came down to, I think I got out at 271 today, which was fantastic. So these trade ideas are the only one that are coming out for the Patreon members, and these are the only people that are actually sponsoring these videos. So that's why yesterday The main point I was going to make here, that yesterday I made the video. Took me about 2.5 hours. I did all the editing, everything without checking the mic. And what happened? My computer actually got the update automatically, and the mic was disconnected. Which I have to reconnect manually. And guess what? There was no sound. So people think it's just so easy. This guy just killing it out there, making videos, and YouTube is paying him like millions of dollars. Absolutely nothing. I don't get anything from YouTube. I don't even make these videos for YouTube. I just make it, for the people that are supporting and watching for years, a couple of years now that I've been making videos, and definitely YouTube is not paying, and this is not a channel where I have subscribers like Mr. Beast. That's not what I do. I don't make YouTube videos to get by and buy things from the money from YouTube. What I do is trading, and that's where my money comes from. I don't work for anybody, guys. So if you're really serious, you can see these trade ideas are coming right and left. There is so many people just don't even have the money to take all these trade ideas sometimes. There's plenty of trade ideas that are coming out, and there will be more. And the prices on Patreon for new people, not for my people that are actually in there right now, but anybody joining maybe later on next month or the month after, the prices might go up. So if you want to go and join, this is the time to join. You can also support the channel by doing that, because like I said, yesterday I made the video, there was no sound, nothing. So let's get right into Apple. What the heck is going on? Well, it's looking extremely bearish. You can see today we did not even hold here at 259. We actually cracked below that support. So there is a gap right here at 249 that could hold up here. Maybe that's the dip. If not, we could be retesting these lows down here at 243.95. Now, Apple's selling off like this. If we get some sort of a counter trend rally, watch out for the resistance now at 259. Only if we can clear that, you're going to see a move up to right here about 262 and then 265 on Apple. On Broadcom, it's down 2%. So Broadcom was down yesterday. And top of that, down again today, which is unfortunate. That video actually had no sound, because I actually made a really good video yesterday explaining what's happening. And you just don't, get the same vibe every time you make a video. You don't feel that energy. So it was really good. And then when I checked it, there was no sound. I mean, it was really bad, guys. And Broadcom, I was gonna say yesterday that this is a stock that ran really hard, and now I think we're in a topping process. And if this thing actually breaks down underneath that 324 and stays below that, I mean, there is another gap down here, another gap down here. I'm not saying that that's going to happen next week or the week after, but look at Microsoft. It's a big name, one of the biggest stock on earth, and what's happening? From 555, 555, 60 some change, now getting down under 400. So never say it cannot happen, especially when it comes to stock market. Anything is possible. We got names like SNDK going to 700. I mean, you think that crap is worth 700, and then Microsoft trading below 400? Absolutely not. You got EMU getting over the price of Microsoft, getting up to that 450 zone, where Microsoft trading below 400. Amazon now another oversold, extremely oversold stock. We'll talk about it in a minute. So I think it can definitely happen here on Broadcom, unless maybe the next earnings they beat with some big numbers, which is unlikely. So Broadcom, this key support going into Tuesday session. Monday, market will be closed. Tuesday, so next week we have 4 days of trading. It's a short week, but there is going to be lots of volatility next week. For that video, stock market update, I'll probably update stock market maybe tomorrow night, if not Sunday morning. So keep an eye out for that one. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, you're missing out a lot of information. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification. So anytime I post a new video, which I'm not really posting that many, so you're not going to see a bunch of notification, you're going to see that video immediately. So Broadcom, this key support needs to hold 324. If not, we could be retesting these lows down here, which is under 300. If we get some sort of a rebound, watch out for the resistance at 330. And if that breaks, we could be coming up right here, right about 339 to 340, and then only then we can talk about more upside here on Broadcom. All right, so Netflix was up 1.33%, and this one gap down. So there is a gap right around $80, and we're nowhere near 80. There is another gap, I think, right here on Netflix. And it was down here. Yeah, there you go. It's right about that $70 range, but I don't know if we're gonna get there here on Netflix. But as of right now, I mean, this thing is definitely not looking good. But again, if we're going long on Netflix, I think this is a really good opportunity. I mean, look at how much this thing is down, guys. Let's just have a look. This is the top. We go all the way to the bottom. How much? My God, look at this thing. 44% down. That is a massive dip. So you're pretty much getting almost close to 50% retracement. I think this thing gets to 70 bucks. It's screaming buy, buy, buy. But if you're not somebody who's gonna hold, and just gonna try to get out quickly, this is not something for you. Ignore it. Maybe you wanna short the pop. That would be a better strategy here on Netflix. So this one, if we can come back up and hold 80, then we can talk about more upside. As of right now, definitely in no man's land. Looks like we found a little bit of support here at 75. But if that gives up, we could be filling this gap all the way down here, which is close to $70 on Netflix. All right, so Microsoft, another flat day. Now the question here, is it going to actually hold for 100? I mean, look at the structure here. It's definitely not something that I would like to see on a stock like Microsoft. Second thing, look at the trend here. The 50-day is pointing straight down. The 20-day is pointing straight down. Even if we get some sort of a counter trend rally, I think it's gonna get instant rejection unless there is really good catalyst that is coming up very soon on Microsoft. But look at the Bollinger Band pointing straight down, now sitting at 374. And there is a gap here at 367.77. So I think if this thing cannot hold right about 400, and we take out these lows down here, 392, the next big support, we could be heading down that way to close this gap. And this one, I'm still in it, especially buying shares, even though I do have shares in my long-term account. And these are just for, let's say, a short-term swing trade, buying shares, and will sell maybe within 6, 7, 8, 9 months, depending on when this thing bounces back up. And on a stock like Microsoft, if you're buying shares and you're selling for loss, you are the worst trader on earth. You do not sell Microsoft for loss, especially buying the dip when this thing was trading at what? Look at this 555 all-time high, now trading at 400. So that's a big dip. So I think this thing, I would like to see Microsoft coming down even more, because the lower this thing goes, the more money I can make when it comes back up to the upside. Some people, if you go and watch on YouTube, many traders, many people that actually make YouTube videos on stock market and they do the analysis, they'll say, "Oh, I don't like the chart. I love it. I like falling knife like this one, Microsoft, Amazon, give it to me all day, I'll take it." Why? Because I like to buy cheaper. I know the trend will change. It might take some time. I have all the time to hold, and I know it's almost a guarantee on a big name like Microsoft that's going to come back up. People will be chasing at 500 again. Who knows? They might do a split down the line, something. And this is not some cheap company that's going to run out of business anytime soon. So if this thing comes down more, if it goes to 300, which is unlikely, even better, let that happen. So I like the way this thing is coming down. These are the key zones: 400, 392. Underneath that, we'll see 375, 374, lower band, and this gap down here at 367.77. If we get bounce, we need to get over 406.88. If we can clear that 5-day, we could see a move, especially right up here at 414.86 86 here, and possibly even higher up to these highs right here that we saw just a couple days ago on Microsoft. On Amazon, stock is down 0.41%. So this one I really wanted to share yesterday in my video. That's why I was so pissed off. I did not try to go and make another video, waste another 4 or 5 hours, and then no volume. That was just pathetic. You did everything, you're ready to post, and just checking to see if everything is done, and then no sound. I mean, that's the worst feeling, especially when it comes to making YouTube videos. And this one was my top on the list yesterday to come out, especially at the beginning of my video, because Amazon, look at what's happening, guys. What happened last time, right here, right? RSI 26, RSI 26, we had a massive face ripper to the upside. Okay, that's one, right? What happened right here? RSI down here 26, we had a massive face ripper. It's like, it's not $5, $6 rally. This is gigantic. You want to see more? You can go back and look at some of the other ones, like maybe even right here. RSI was getting, not that oversold, but still massive, massive rally. So we have not seen Amazon RSI this low in last couple of months. And now we're down to that gap right here, right about 195. There is another one at 176.78. I don't know if we're going to get there. I think come Tuesday, even if this thing fills the gap, comes down to 195. I mean, you can see there was a lot of rejection there too before. So anywhere from 195 to maybe about 192, that's going to be a strong demand zone for Amazon here. And with RSI sitting at 23, I think it's due for a face ripper rally, just like we saw at least in the short term on Microsoft. I think what 392 up to 422, that was a decent rally, especially if you caught it near the bottom. And I said the same thing about Microsoft when it was getting really oversold on the RSI. So we got that initial bounce, and now we're coming back. We'll see, if that one holds up. But I think this one is gonna get ready soon to see that rally back up to the upside, and it's coming here on Amazon. So 195, that's gonna be a crucial level. But we were struggling today at 200. If we can get over 200, watch out for a run up to this 5-day moving average, 203.63, and maybe even into 207. And that can happen. Amazon is a big stock, it's a big mover. And if this thing wants to move, I think you can easily see, a 10, $15 move to the upside. So Amazon, I'm already in it, but it's not really a giant position. But I'm waiting to see if this one comes down and closes the gap at 195. That's where I'll be loading up even more on Amazon. So watch out. Amazon due for a bounce. And when you look at Mag 7, the ETF is getting absolutely killed. So I think at some point you're going to see a rotation back into these names like Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, even Tesla now, coming down. So these names can definitely go back up. You're going to see technology on top, and some of the other ones like energy sector taking a beating very soon because those are extremely overbought right now. On Google, stock is down 1%. So Google is another one that is coming down, but I'm not really interested here on Google. It's a tiny dip, only down about $45. It's not like it's down here where I would go crazy and say, hey, buy Google. So yes, it's getting, down there where, it's gonna attract people, but not something that I would jump right in it right now. It's selling off pretty hard. So Google also getting pretty frothy to the downside. Expect some sort of a move back up to the upside. 303 is that key support we held before, and now so far that's holding. You can see right here. If that holds up, we could see a bounce back up to 314. This is where we got rejection yesterday, and the 5 days sitting right about 314. If we can clear that, watch out for a move up to the 50-day moving average right about a 322. If we cannot hold 303, it's coming down to flat 300 and then 292. On Tesla stock is absolutely flat on the day, and it's not really going anywhere. And there were a lot of puts coming in on Tesla, people that were actually posting calls and targeting and giving out Tesla price target 800. Well, one question I have, guys, when will that 800 hit? Because these are chasers. This is where they actually said 800 price target. My model, my thesis on Tesla, it's gonna go to 800. I'm still bullish on it. Trapping a lot of you guys out there. And this is where I come in and I like to make these videos because You will never hear anything from my channel that, hey, Tesla at 500, let's just buy 550 calls. Whales are buying, they're buying heavy 550 calls. Those are absolutely garbage because they're telling you to go and chase this so you can lose money. Now you decide you want to lose money or you want to buy something cheaper, and then when it goes up, you want to make money, you want to make more money, or you want to buy all the breakouts, especially at all-time high, and thinking like, oh, we're trading into blue skies. Trust me, guys, when things are really frothy and trading into blue skies, that's when things can really come down hard. And this is exactly what happened to Tesla. You guys saw, even I shared that play. I don't have it anymore. When Tesla was trading right here, I think it was at 491. That's where I got 430 puts. And you can see what happened to Tesla. I still have time on those, but because I'm not betting big on Tesla to the downside, I gotta take profit. Otherwise, those 430 puts went deep in the money. We sold before even 430. And look at what happened just a couple days ago. 386, 87. Massive move to the downside. Imagine you are long here. Imagine the pain and suffering that will, come your way by chasing this thing. So that's why ignore those things and try to buy things when things are looking good, looking juicy, looking oversold, then chasing at all-time high, thinking about, oh, my model, my thesis, my Tesla going to 800 because, you know, I'm just going to put it out there to trap people. Those are the real clickbaits out there that are trapping retail traders, investors, just showing people wrong things and people getting trapped. I mean, you guys be the judge. See if that's actually helping anybody, telling people to go along here and then Tesla will reach 800. I mean, come on, that is just pathetic. So, Tesla here, what the heck is going on next week? Well, we cannot even get over that 425 20-day moving average and just hanging by a thread. If this thing cannot hold that 416 level here, Tesla can easily dump down to 400. You can see the Bollinger Band pointing down, and there is some gaps down here, and this was the breakout point. So, it could definitely come down and retest the zone, maybe even fill this gap, 368.99 on Tesla. Going into Tuesday, 424.73, let's say 425 breaks, we could see a move up to 432. Otherwise, watch out for that 416, 415, and then flat 400 all the way down to that gap 368. On AMD, it's up 0.67%. So AMD taking a beating again after this initial, move, or I would say just a dead cat bounce back up to the upside. Immediate rejection came. We are under 50-day moving average, also below the 5-day. So basically trading below all the moving averages. And this is not a pretty looking chart. And we talked about it before in my video. This is exactly like Microsoft, top number one, top number two. And now we're just waiting to see if this thing cracks below, especially I would say 195 to 200. If that happens, guys, just like Microsoft, and I think it's going to happen, whether you like it or not, I think it's going to happen that AMD comes down here and closes this gap at 170. That is going to happen within maybe next couple of sessions to maybe even 4 to 8 weeks, I would say. But for that to happen, we need to crack below this key zone 200 to let's say 195. This support, this zone where we got bounces before and still getting bounces, even cutting underneath that and then still going back up to the upside. To the upside, there will be resistance now at 211. If we can get over that, 221, 226, and then we can talk about this gap, but we're not even close to that gap. On Meta, it's down 1.55%. So Meta, another beat down. And this is actually, if you look at it, guys, I mean, you can go and look at the weekly time frame. What do you see? We have a head, we have a left shoulder, and this is actually forming a right shoulder. And this is going to be the neckline here. So, I mean, it's kind of sloppy, but it's still there. You can see it's clearly left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and this is on a weekly scale, and this is going to be the neckline. So you don't want to say this thing breaking below 614, 615. That's going to be a disaster for Mark Zuckerberg, because this thing can crash easily and go down. In Meta, I think still, I mean, this thing is up quite a bit. So if we get some sort of a dip compared to what and where this thing was back in 2022, I think we can go down a little bit more. That would be more juicy, especially when it comes to buying the dip on Meta. So going into Tuesday's session, this key zone held up today 638, even though we went under that range. There is a gap there. If we go under that range, we could be filling this gap, and there comes that trend line, this weekly trend line, guys. You cannot ignore this. Either we get a bounce from here, or if this thing breaks below this trend line, things are gonna look really ugly on Meta. We get bounce from 638. Watch out for a run up back up to 658, 664, and only over that we can talk about 682. But look at that trend, the way this thing is going down. We don't have any bull trend, and it's just a big mass. So with that weekly head and shoulder pattern, I'm not really bullish on Meta, but looking to see if this is actually going to hold. Maybe we'll take some calls right here, see if that support actually holds up on Meta when we get there, especially right around that 618 to 615. On Nvidia, stock is down 2.21%. So a couple of warning signals that are in the market right now. And people do look at a lot of things, and I don't think I have to go anywhere. All I have to do is look at Nvidia, look at Microsoft and Apple. And one thing in common, Apple breaking down, Microsoft already broke down, and this one is just ranging. This is a multi-month range. I mean, if you bought Nvidia, let's say somewhere here, you're not really up on Nvidia. You're not really down. You're just chopping back and forth. Maybe one day green, one day red. That's all you're getting. So if you're in, Nvidia bull, you need to see Nvidia actually getting over that 196. That would be bullish and staying over that, and that can happen with earnings. But imagine, these earnings, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Jensen. Why? Because he keeps saying good things about Nvidia, these big numbers. And now if this guy comes short somehow a tiny hair, what's going to happen? They're going to dump this Nvidia, easily dump under 170. I hope that's not the case, but again, Nvidia, you know this is the range, and bottom of this range is 170, 169. If that gives out, you could see lower prices, 160 gap, maybe even into 150s possible. People will not agree with me right now, but the same thing when Microsoft was trading at what, 500 plus, nobody was thinking about 400, right? It can happen. It can happen in a quick time. So earnings are really key. We got about a week on Nvidia, and that's going to be something that's going to pretty much make or break the market. So Nvidia going into Tuesday's session, 184 needs to be reclaimed, recaptured for more upside, and then you're going to see possibly a move up to 5-day right here, 188 to 190. This thing breaks down and stays down below 184. The next key support would be right around 180, and underneath that you'll see a flush down to 174, and then bottom of this channel, bottom of this range, 170 on Nvidia. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to hit that like button, guys. It takes a lot to make a video.